I'll be sharing with you someone very special from my very first episode, my mother, Linda Robinson Wiggins. Happy 76th heavenly birthday, Mommy. I love and miss you so much. Thank you for joining Chat with Chondee today. If you could share your name with us.
Sandy Harris.
Hey, and Mrs. Harris, how do you know my mother, Linda? How did you know my mother, Linda Robinson Wiggins?
Well, I really must say we knew each other before we knew each other. And by that I mean she had a grandmother who lived next door to me. And so because of that and her mother bringing her back and forth and me living next door, we knew each other, like I said, and didn't know we knew each other. But I really can go back to like ages 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, and remember us playing together when she would come and visit with her grandmother. And then sometimes I would be allowed to go and visit with her. But we mainly did it at her grandmother's house when she came.
Awesome, awesome. Now, can you tell us a little bit about her as a child and what her personality was like?
Lynn was always a sweet person. She was always quiet, and she was very funny. I used to tell her she could be a comedian. And she thought, what? And I thought, yeah, you really could be a comedian. She was very funny. But she was very friendly and she was very nice. And again, she was very quiet. And she had a great spirit. I loved being around her. Um, she was a little older, being a year older, 2 years older. But anyway, she was the older one, and I was looking up to her.
Awesome. So, did you ever go to school with her?
I did, and
What can you tell us about her as a student?
well, she, like I say, she was upperclassman, so we never had any classes together. But I must say right here, we both were going to a Catholic school. Back then it was Mother Mary Mission. And at the time we started, it had elementary and high school. But getting closer to our graduation, the high school was shut down. And I remember crying because Lynn was leaving and she was going to South Girard, and I was going to be stuck at the mission without her. And I remember asking my mom if I could go, and she said no, because the mission then went to 8th grade. But I told her I needed to leave in the 8th grade to go to South Girard so I could get used to being at public school. I said, and Lynn is going to be there, so I'll be fine. And she said no. She wanted me to go to Carver High School in Columbus. And her sister, who graduated from Spencer, wanted me to go to Spencer. So my mother allowed me to cry and be depressed all summer long until it was time to register for school. And at the last minute, she let me know that I could leave Mother Mary Mission in the 7th grade. I would not have to attend it in the 8th grade, that I could go ahead and go to South Girard so that I could be with Lynn and be happy.
That's amazing. I love that. I love that. Now, I know she went off to Morris Brown. Did y'all keep in contact?
We did. We always kept in contact. We were always, we didn't talk every day as we got older, because she was having you guys and having to deal with her husband and children and work. And so we didn't talk every day, but we talked all the time.
Awesome,
And we
awesome.
kept in touch.
Tell us about your relationship as adults.
Well, we were very good friends. Again, we stayed friends. Um, Matter of fact, I caught the bouquet at her wedding, and believe it or not, I think it was about 6 months, 7 months later, my husband and I were actually married.
Oh wow! So you caught the bouquet and you were the next to get married.
Yes, I never thought about that. That never even crossed my mind that that would happen. Wow. And so I remember her saying, well, you have to have something old and something blue, something borrowed. And so she said, so I want you to borrow my white shoes and you can use my blue garland. And that's what I did. So we did that. We were just that close.
I never knew that. That's great. Now you mentioned that you were at her wedding. I've seen the pictures from this wedding. So did it all take place on the front porch of the house? Because I've seen the pictures where they're standing on the porch
Yes.
of my grandmother's house.
Yes. Yes.
What do you remember about that day other than catching the bouquet?
Well, it was real special because she was getting married and we were all excited about it, and she was happy, and to me that was the most important thing, that her being happy.
Now, were you there? Do you remember her being pregnant with my brother or with me or with both?
I do remember.
What can you tell us about that?
That she was excited about that she was going to be a mom first time, and then when she was going to be a mom the second time. And we thought that was just fabulous.
It's crazy because I have never seen one picture of her pregnant with either of us.
And I don't remember any pictures myself. I can't recall any pictures myself, but I do remember her going through her pregnancy and being happy.
Awesome, awesome. I remember she always used to tell this story about how she kept waking up after having me saying, "What did I have? What did I have?" But she didn't remember. Yeah. I guess they were still putting you to sleep back then.
Back then, yeah.
I didn't get that luxury.
And she was funny. That sounds like what she would say.
Mm-hmm. Is there any last words that you would like to leave us in regards to your relationship?
Well, I would just like to say it would be a better world if people could be friendly like that, find a good friend and maintain a good friend, because I do understand in life that everybody that you meet in your younger years, they are not meant to go with you on your journey throughout life. But there are some people every now and then that you're blessed to have in your life the entire part of your life. And so she was in my life until she passed, and that was really hard for me. But I had her the entire time. Like I say, I can really remember going back 4, 5, 6 years old, us playing together, and we were friends until she passed.
And I appreciate that because I remember when she was up at the hospital, you came, it was out of town, it was like an hour and a half drive away, and you and your husband came, and that meant a lot to her. And then for her friends that stay in touch and check on us as a family, it really means a lot, and we appreciate you. And I appreciate you for joining Chat with Chondee today.
Oh, you're so welcome, and I love you guys.
Love you too.
All right.
What can you tell us about your grandmother?
If I could describe her as a person, I would say she liked to do things her way. If you came in there, like for example, I would come out, run in there and get on her bed, get off my bed, or she specifically make me sit at the end of the bed. So she was like me. She liked to do things her way. You couldn't tell her no other way to do it. If you told her you was wrong. Classy, I'd say a little bit. Picky, definitely, to describe her in a couple words. Yeah, that's it.
What are some of your favorite memories of your grandmother?
When I get off the bus from school and I just run down the street, she already had a door unlocked for me. Run in the house, and run back there to her office and jump on her while she was in a chair. That was nice.
What's one thing that you could say your grandmother taught you that you learned from her?
If I could say something that she taught me how to do her hair, that's what she taught me how to do. I love doing her hair. That's what she taught me.
Thank you for sharing.
Hi, my name is Kalia Wiggins, and I am the granddaughter of Linda Wiggins. I was able to enjoy my granny's life and a life with her for 16 years. She was everything to me, one of my best friends. She was my shopping buddy, my eating buddy, my watching the news buddy. And I just loved everything about her, from her style to her mindset, to the way that she loved on others. my granny worked in the church a lot. I remember her sick and shut in list throughout the weeks, and I would just sit there and bother her while she do it or help her do some work, whatever she needed. I would help her, and I just enjoyed being around her, and seeing her do that work really rubbed off on me in a way that I didn't realize, because now I am working through the church and doing all kinds of things that I never really thought I would be doing. And I love to know that that is a connection to my granny, because she showed me that through what she did, and it subconsciously rubbed off on me. And so I just love her. She has a great, bright spirit, an undeniable bright spirit. Anybody that she encountered can tell. And I just loved her so much, and I miss her. But I'm so honored to be able to carry her light through myself, through her memories, and through the things that she taught me.
So, my name is Angela Dillon, Angie to the family. Linda Wiggins was my first cousin. My dad and her mom are sister and brother. So, my fond memories of Lynn, of course, were when I was growing up. She was always around. We were always at her house. But in later years, I really got to know her better. She infected me with her shopping gene. When I moved back to Columbus, we started going out to lunch, Red Lobsters. Everybody knows her favorite place. And then when we would visit at Cam's house, we'd go shopping on Black Friday. She became my Black Friday road dog. She was ready to roll at 8 o'clock. And so now every Thanksgiving, I feel particularly close to her. I also feel her loss that she's left us, but I take joy in all the times that I had with her. And even when she used to embarrass me in public when I was small by calling me by my nickname in the mall, either Suki or Ann Wan or something like that. So happy heavenly birthday, my dear cousin, and I will see you again one day.
Hey everybody, my name is Wendy Golden, and I am the cousin to Linda Wiggins. Her dad and my grandmother were siblings. So I had a wonderful relationship with my cousin. And I always remember her making me laugh all the time, and always just dressed so nice, and always just being funny. And I remember she was super excited when she found out I was having a baby. And when Kai got here, she was not stunning me no more. It was all about Kai. And that is who gave Kai his nickname, Kaiwai. My cousin Linda started calling him Kaiwai, and it just stuck. So I have a lot more memories, but those are my special ones right there. So I love you, cousin Linda, and we miss you.
Hello, I am Lisa Robinson Abercrombie Davis Walton, and Linda Robinson Wiggins is my first cousin, and I love her with all my heart. She was someone that always kept it real with me. She was a loving soul, and I just remember one time especially when I was so happy to see my cousin, because my brother had this jackleg to do some work on my car in Columbus, and my car broke down. And I called him, and I was in a pretty rough part of town. And I'm waiting and waiting and waiting, and it gets dark. and my brother's still nowhere around. And I called my cousin Linda, and she was there in less than 15 minutes, and I'll never forget it. I love my cousin. She's always there for me, and I miss her so much. Love you, Linda Wiggins, forever and ever.
So not everyone that wanted to participate wanted to be on camera. So I also offered the option of sending in something written. So this is a tribute to Linda R. Wiggins by her cousin, Yvonne Abercrombie Wilson. Linda and I were second cousins, but we were as close as sisters. We shared a lot of time and things together. As kids, we loved playing at Aunt Lily's on the porch, and Lynn always had all sorts of toys, being the only child. The rest of us were from a family of at least 3 or more and only got toys at Christmas. But Lynn had every kind of toy all year long. Thank goodness she was always willing to share with the rest of us. When I told her about Camila's condition, which is her daughter, the same condition and surgery she'd experienced, she encouraged me. As a matter of fact, she and George were at the hospital around 7 a.m. the morning of her surgery to pray for her prior to her surgery. That was the kind of person she was. I miss her. She was my cousin, my friend. Most of all, she was family. Thank you for sharing, Yvonne.
Happy birthday to my granny. Thank you for always being my best friend. I miss you and I love you.
Hi, I am Gingy Kamar, and I am the second cousin of Linda Wiggins, and her and my dad were actually first cousins. So when I originally met her, I remember my dad introduced her, of course, like, this is my cousin. And that's how I looked at her initially. I was like, yeah, that's my dad's cousin. But then as the years went by, and I spent more time with her, and of course getting to know my big cousin Chondee, then she definitely became my cousin. And I just grew to love her and just appreciate her so much, to the point where me and her could hang out. And so yeah, it was so bad that sometimes me and her, when we got together, literally we could be laughing and talking, and me and Chondee, it'd be like, oh yeah, Chondee's sitting over there, let's go. We would just laugh so hard. Like, she was just one of those people that she would just hit you with a one-liner and you would be laughing for days. Like, and as I grew to know her, I understood why she was my dad's one of my dad's favorite cousins as well. And I just love her and miss her so much. But the gift that she definitely gave me was my cousin Chondee and our relationship. Because of her and my dad's relationship being so close, it definitely fostered a beautiful relationship with my cousin Chondee. And then we have our other cousin Wendy, and we are just, when we get together, now that's when the shenanigans really begin. But I just want to say I love her and I miss her, and I'm just so blessed that I even got to know her and grow up with her. And it's just a beautiful gift. She was just a gift that just kept on giving. So thank you, and I love you. Bye. Peace.
What can I say about my mother-in-law? I can say that from the time that I met this lady, she took me right in. We always had fun together. We always laughed together, talked. Especially after my dad passed, she would call me on a daily basis to make sure I was okay. And I think for a while there, she was making sure I was okay by giving me stuff to do. And what I mean by stuff to do, she'd say, "Hey, I need you to drive me and George T out to Fort Benning," or we went down to the casino to take him down to the casino and stuff like that. She would also call if one of the grandkids went and told her that, I disciplined them or something like that. She would always call me, and these are her words: "You better leave my grandkids alone." And me and her had several conversations about all kind of different topics, and she was always nice. I never ever saw her down. Even as time went on, I never saw her get down. She was always in good spirits. She was always helpful. She was just a nice, kind-hearted, very loving person, and I miss you, and I hope to see you one day, and I love you. Happy birthday.
Today, I'm joined by my godmother, Mrs. Ethel Stevens. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Chondee, for asking me.
Of course, of course. So I want to find out all about her relationship with my mom, Linda Robinson Wiggins. How did you meet my mom?
I met your mother in church. We was raised up at French-Eye Missionary Baptist Church, and we also went to school together.
Okay, what school did y'all attend? I know, but let's let the viewers know.
We attended South Girard High School.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you met at the church. Do you remember how your relationship started off?
Well, it didn't really blossom there. When we got older and we started having children, our friendship blossomed.
Okay.
I think she was pregnant with you, and I was pregnant with Keith. And for some reason, we would always end up in the same shopping area or the same stores, and that we just blossomed from there.
I love that. I love that. Fun fact that she mentions her son Keith, because that's my god brother. And when I was 8 years old, I was at church one Sunday, and we used to sit next to each other in church. And Keith fell asleep on my shoulder. Okay, so this particular Sunday, I got up. I decided I wanted to get baptized that Sunday. So I get up and I go to the front of the church to sit in the chairs for the people who decided they want to be baptized. Well, of course, me getting up woke Keith up because he was laying on my shoulder, okay? So Keith wakes up and see I'm not sitting there anymore, and he gets up and he comes up there to where I am, and we ended up getting baptized together. At the same time. So that's just a funny story.
That was a funny story.
What's something that you can tell us about my mom's personality as a friend?
Oh my. Your mother was like a sister to me. In fact, my family members call me sister, and she called me sister. And we just came together and bonded, and we started going on vacations together, family vacations, and started just shopping. Shopping buddies.
I also remember y'all used to have a lot of this stuff at your house, and we would come to that. And she broke her arm at your house.
Yes.
I remember I was in the 4th grade when that happened because she was left-handed, and it was her left arm, and that's when I learned how to write checks. She started having me write her checks.
Yes, for her. My son Victor and his fiance was having a bridal shower at my house. And your mom was getting ready to go out the back door, and I think she was going to the back for some reason, but she missed a step and fell and broke her wrist. And we got her up and carried her to the hospital, and I stayed up there with her until they got her all bandaged up, and then we came back to the house. But by that time, everybody was gone. Everybody was gone, and she apologized and everything, but it was fine. It was fine. I told her as long as I knew she was okay.
And that's a good friend. I love how y'all's friendship was like that over the years.
Yeah,
even when y'all were shopping together.
Yes, yes, at different stores, and our favorite store was Mansour's.
She used to shut Mansour's down so much so they used to have to let us out with the key because we'd be in there until they were closed. I hated going to Mansour's because I knew we was gonna be there until they closed.
And we liked going to Curvin's when Curvin was out at the mall that we called it. And we shopped out there a lot, especially when we had our babies.
What can you tell us about her as a church member?
Well, as a church member, we both were deacon wives. Linda worked with the matrons. She worked with the also like her mother with the WWTK.
Which is, we want to know that if the club is asking what we want to know how we can help within the church. My great grandmother Sadie Brown started that, and my grandmother Isabel Robinson continued with it as
Right,
well.
right. And she worked. She started a drama club at the church where she had all types of plays and stuff that was going on there. And she also worked with the sick and shut in. The deacon wives went out to visit the sick and shut in, and Linda would call them to make sure that
I remember her making those calls.
they called them to make sure that we had permission to go out to visit. She was also called the nursing homes, talked with the patients that was in the nursing home. She called Miss Wiggins every day, which was your grandmother's best friend.
Yeah.
And make sure that we could go and visit them in the nursing home. She did a lot in the church. She did a lot. Okay, I remember when Linda gave your mother a birthday party, and she knew that my mother had died that September, and they was getting ready to play this song, and she knew it was going to be a sad song, but she didn't tell me that. She just came and got me, and she said, I want you to come go with me. And I said, where are we going? And she said, we're just going right outside. And then once we got out there, she explained that they was getting ready to play this sad song, and she didn't want me to get upset.
It was Boys to Men, Mama, and once my mom passed, that song was really hard for me. So I'm glad she took you out and did that. But that's just the type of person that she was, you know.
And she loved all her friends, and she treated us all the same. It wasn't like you know she treated me different from any other of her friends. We all thought we were special. We all thought we was her best friend.
That's just the type of person she was. Is there anything else about her that you want to share that other people may not have known about her?
Well, I think everybody knew because Linda was the type of person, she didn't hide her feelings, and she was a giver. She was always giving, and anything she had, she wanted to share. And I remember when she wanted me to help her decorate her house once. And she called me and she said, Ethel, she said, I want to put some wallpaper up. Asked me would I come over. I said, sure, sure, I'll come over and help you. So when I got over there, she was telling me the story about how she was uh, fixing up her den and everything. And she had bought some antique furniture or something. And I thought that was so special of her. And I don't know if people knew that about her, but that's what she liked.
Yeah, she loved doing stuff like that. She used to have all those home books and about building houses and different things like that. She loved that. I think that I get a little bit of that from her too. I'm always looking at stuff on Pinterest and things like that.
And she would like to go visit different homes. If they knew in the neighborhood, she'll say, come, let's go visit this house. She said, they building a house down here. I said, where? And she'll tell me, and I said, okay. Then there she and I go visiting a house that nobody lives in.
Well, one thing that she definitely knew what she was doing is when she picked my godmother, because you have people that tell you, we're going to be there for you, or call me if you need me when you lose a loved one. But she definitely stepped in with action and showed that. And we talk in some way or form every day. She reaches out to my brother as well. So she has definitely fulfilled her duties of being a godmother. And on behalf of my mother, we definitely thank you for that. And we love
thank
you.
you.
Thank you. And as always, continue to keep the conversation going about all things culture, health, arts, and travel. We'll check you out on the next episode.